Good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I stayed up all night. Just kidding. I'm about ready to head into work. Um, Wanted to talk a little bit about an article I was just reading where a gentleman was talking about how inflation may start to run out of control and the Fed will have no other choice but to raise interest rates before they were anticipating. And a lot of it has to do with the supply shock, the shortage that has taken place in just about everything. And these stimulus packages that are coming in. And what he was basically getting to was is that as people are getting the stimulus package in and we have the supply shortage and that fear of inflation is coming in at the same time, that this could cause inflation. And once this inflation starts kicking in, the Fed will have no other choice but to combat it with the raising of interest rates. Now, that's pretty much the shortest story I could tell on that. But what I got to thinking about was this is like, how do you know what these people are going to do with their stimulus package? I mean, you if you think about it right now, you're about ready to give a stimulus package to people come Christmas time, if you can get it to them before Christmas. And in the United States, Christmas is a very spending month. I mean, people will go deep into debt and pay all year for their Christmas holiday. It's ridiculous. And I'm assuming that, the economist out there will think that once they get the stimulus check, it would all go directly into the spending, into the consuming for the Christmas holiday. And I have a tendency to think a little differently of it. This fear that they're putting out to the people of inflation, it's starting to really catch hold. I'm hearing people talk about it. When I talked about the price of lumber going up, they're like, wow, inflation's really kicking in the lumber, isn't it? And I'm like, well, that's not really inflation. I mean, there's probably some to do with inflation, but I mean, the rise in lumber had a lot to do with other things like the supply shortage and the demand picking up and, a lot of like other issues taking place. It didn't necessarily have to do with inflation, but the fear of inflation is certainly kicking in to the point that people are looking at every single price rising that they see out there as a result from inflation. Just that kind of makes sense. Like people are just got it in their head that every single thing that's rising in prices is because there's inflation taking place. They're just anticipating it at this point. So I guess the common idea would be that the economist out there, or at least I hate to put it this way, but the rich elitists who don't understand who poor people are or what the mentality of poor people is. Like if you have never spent your days like a week without any money. None. Like you have none. Whatever you have in the house at the time, the apartment, the fridge, that's what you have until Monday. If you have never lived like that, I mean, you got a car, you got insurance, you got a full tank of gas, you got food, but all the bills are paid. Cable's on, but you have no cash. You have no money to spend. And if you're going to spend anything, it's on credit card. That sort of life is very frustrating and it's very stressful. And I lived like that for a long time. Right? And it's hard for people who have the means, the money to understand what it is to be in that condition. To like sit on the couch watching TV knowing that's your life. It's really difficult for a lot of people to understand what that sort of level is thinking. You go to work every day, but you have nothing. You have nothing at the time. You have to wait till Monday. Every day you show up, eating peanut butter and honey sandwiches. So when they get this stimulus check, when I think about this, and I think about this inflation, and they already anticipate it, and they know what's coming, and they're frustrated already, a lot of these people, I have a feeling, are going to hold on to it, much like they already have. And they're going to hold on to it so that they can supplement their income as the inflation kicks in so they don't feel like they're completely out. I don't feel that they're just going to go out there and dump it into the economy. Maybe pay off debt. I mean, that's probably the smartest thing that they could ever do with it. There's no better return on your money than to pay off debt. Once you're out of debt, you can invest in just about anything you want and get the full return from it, except for the taxes and fees or whatever you got to pay for. But if you have debt that you're paying, you have to, have an investment that pays an interest rate that's beyond the interest that you're paying on your debt. So it's like there's no point to even investing if you have a debt. You might as well get your debts paid off first and then move on to investing. That's my opinion, anyway. I mean, there's probably I'm no financial advisor. Do not listen to me when it comes to financial advice. I just recently got out of debt, and I'm just learning what it is that I should be doing with my money right now. So, anyway, that's the way I feel. I'm going to leave a link down in the description for you guys to the article. But that's the way I feel about, the difference that people have as far as if you have the money and if you don't have the money. I mean, it's difficult to live out there. When you don't have it, it's even hard to describe, And then you always think you don't want to be living you don't sit there in your apartment just going, you end up going down and walking and hanging out in the park or going out to the beach or doing stuff that's completely free and active and fun, and it doesn't cost you anything. And you start to enjoy your life a little bit more. And once you're out of that debt, once you're out of that condition, and all of a sudden you have $20 left over by the time the next paycheck comes, you start feeling a little bit better about things. So anyway, having the $1,200 sitting in the bank could make a lot of people feel a whole lot better about the fact that they're going to start paying a lot more for their stuff that they're going to be buying to live. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist. You guys let me know. Oh, man, I forgot to put the dice up. I'm sorry, guys. Here, let me put the dice up and then do my outro. All right. Good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist. You guys let me know.